All right, there's a ton to cover when it comes to end-of-life decision making. So I want to break this down into one-term increments and make this as simple as possible to understand. So the first term we're going to go over is DNR, which simply stands for do not resuscitate. So just real quick, there's two parts to the keeping you alive equation in the hospital. There's DNR and DNI. So DNI is do not intubate, which has to do with your lungs. And so you need two things to stay alive, and that's oxygen flowing through your body, and you need something to push that oxygen throughout your body. So the do not resuscitate part has to do with the heart. And you can think of your heart as a water pump. So your water pump needs electricity, which it naturally has within it is electrical activity that keeps the heart pumping. And then you have the squeezing part of the muscle that actually propels it throughout the body. So we can break it down to, you need two main things in your heart. And so when we talk about do not resuscitate, we are trying to kickstart your heart. And we can do that through a variety of ways. You can think of the first way as shocking, so defibrillation. So if your electrical rhythm, and you can think again of the water pump. If your water pump doesn't have electricity to it, you're not going to get any water. So we have to make sure the electrical activity is going. So we will do shocking and things like that to actually restart the electrical activity of the heart. I guess the second part of that would be the pumping mechanism. So if the electrical activity is just shot, we do CPR, which is where we push on your chest and we're physically forcing your heart to pump by just squeezing it. And you can think of it as, if you had your hand in there, which, I've heard of surgeons doing that on the table where they have a heart and they're just squeezing it and it's pushing blood throughout the body. So whenever your heart stops and we're resuscitating you, we'll start doing chest compressions. But if you're a DNR, we're not supposed to do those things. That means don't resuscitate, don't pump the heart, don't shock the heart. And I guess the third way that we usually accomplish that is through medicines. So we can give medicines that if you still have a little bit of electrical activity in the heart and it's still pumping ever so slightly or even just quivering in there, sometimes we can give medicines, and if we can circulate through the body and it gets into the bloodstream, then it can kind of kickstart the heart. And so that's another way that unless you are a DNR, if you're a DNR, we're not supposed to give you these chemicals in your veins, and we're not supposed to push on your heart to make it go, and we're not supposed to shock it to restart the electrical activity. So again, DNR stands for do not resuscitate. And if I am a DNR, that means I do not want medical professionals to do chest compressions, to shock me, or to give me medicines that will restart my heart.